warrior with the hands. That's what I'm all about. Hunger in my eyes, vengeance in my mouth. They don't want no altercation. Situation gon' get critical. It's best that you be easy. The end gon' be biblical. Look, flow like a river. It's something like a miracle. Royalty in my veins, loyalty in my ways, payback in every breath, plus revenge in my heart. The truth in every word. Bring light into the dark, and I ain't never lukewarm. Shit, I blazing in the season. Got plenty food for thought. Just gotta watch who I'm feeding. Now been walking with them angels, so I guess I got this pistol for no reason. Niggas barely breathing, criticizing all my achievements. Won't make me weak. Nah, it won't make me slack off. These niggas baby fat song, better bear witness or back off. I be ripping shit like sackcloth. Dumb dogs all barked out. Behind me say I cut full. No room for emotion, so I pour my heart out. This road hard, but I intend to stay. And if it ain't UPK, then they in the way. My niggas righteous, they real, they down to something. Flow so deep, they drown a motherfucker. He say he in the truth, oh yeah? Bro, this the home. And I don't hate them brothers, I'm just too loyal to my own. Plus what they believe, hard for me to follow. No rank me, no head. And I ain't leaving this body to live and sleep in hollow. So when they ask I'm UPK, we tell them absolutely. And I ain't trimming my ways for nothing. Gotta execute me, cause I can never die with my tail tucked between my legs. Shit I be thinking, watching my daughters tucked in their bed. They so smart. And Alana, she's so beautiful, but they ain't like other babies. And they daddy far from usual. Now I'm missing cause I'm about my father's business. It ain't about this shit I used to do in that 98 nabbing. Your tan never cease. See, without wisdom, this world make you weak. I found out that the truth was bitter. The lies are sweet. Tried everything. I guess me and Johanna had to meet. Now I make the blind see. And I make the dead speak. And teach both my little girls the day that they lie with a man. They better bring their bloody bed sheets. Chaos match the time. This Glock match my handpiece. And I ain't trying to take him out, but I will defend this house. Or take a check. 144 in that black trench on some hitman shit. Should call me 47. Praying for Armageddon. Me and my soldiers dressed for the wedding. Fuck the fame. Ask why, tell them I'm loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign. Loyal to the king. I want that straight lane to break the chain. Loyal to the king. The devils can't have me, bitch. I'm loyal to the king. That's right. Bring that hot flame. You bitch ain't loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign. Loyal to the king. I want that straight lane to break the chain. Loyal to the king. The devils can't have me, bitch. I'm loyal to the king. Bring that hot flame. You bitch ain't loyal to the king. Certified priest, prophesied this my occupation. This shit outrageous, they done made the truth docile. That's why we on the corner crying aloud, looking hostile. It's UPK style, and stop now. Try this warfare, good last one round. Let the oppressed rise, let the rich mourn till the sundown. Enough with this shit about to make it hot, call it compound. This for my niggas, put the guns in the drums down. Dwelling in peace in the Lord, call for the blood. Hey, try to decide my death and got beside yourself. Swore drawn for what you perform. How you gon' hide yourself? Devil got to die for his lies and his dreams. Ain't got no love for them crackers. Nah, just cruel intentions. And in my father's house is spinning mansions. I got plenty bitch for the Avengers. This your death sentence. I'm talking pit slaughter. Yeah, slaughter. Yeah, slaughter. Yeah, slaughter. Yeah, slaughter. Yeah, slaughter. Yeah, slaughter. Yeah. And they do not rise. Go ahead and feel the world with eyes. They die for your skin. You gon' die for your crime. That's right. Talking try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta hear, let them hear. Tell them devils that they in this deal. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah. Now they shook from vicious words out this handbook. About to take these rappers back to school. My flow standing hook. They crossed the line, ain't no coming back. You became no cowards. The only thing sweet is the honey check. Righteous is the Lord. Give me rest from my sorrow. And hand down death for them devils. There's no tomorrow. Why? Cause they violence leave a man a stiff corpse. You see a flag in the bench, I see horns in a pitchfork. Go ahead. So please believe it. The white man is a demon. And I ain't gon' vote for them to free me. No, they beat us to weep. The color purple is why they snipe till they broke like ceiling. You got this nigga on his knees. They wanna have peace. We're screaming, let this bitch burn at 1,000 degrees. I'm laying in the bosom of revenge. I told her I'd do anything she please as I squeeze on the double D's. Fuck you mean? I'm talking real. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah. And they do not rise. Go ahead and feel the world when I ain't down for your skin. You gon' die for your pride. That's why I'm talking to you. So warn for your life. Try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta hear, let them hear. Tell them devils that they in this deal. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah.
The police just shot him for no apparent reason. No reason at all. They asked for license and registration. That's the police officer over there that did it. With the black on. I can't really do shit because they got me handcuffed. I can't believe they just did this. I'm fucking
We'll get started in just a second, man. Just a second. We're gonna play one more song for y'all.
Any man give his life for Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, and Christ, and fall up under that UPK banner. It's my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary. It's all about that warfare, boy. Get back up, get back up, get back up, get back up, get back. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take breath, 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 take breath. My soldiers take breath till I'm stand down. Take breath, take breath, take breath, take breath, take breath, take breath, take breath. My soldiers take breath till I'm stand down, boy. Take breath, take breath, take breath. Now this ain't no movement, this a takedown. We would not be moved or intimidated. We ain't the type. You got a problem? Tell them cross the fucking line. My niggas ain't polite. Soldiers to the left and right. I die for every man body. Before I be a coward, I'd rather be a dead body. This will be my kingdom when the hour plays. You can either get with it or get flipped like an hourglass. We live by honor and no excuse. To sit the prayer up to the Lord. I told him, then let all the terrorists loose. Hold your tongue or get rebuked, cause you made a truce. With a race to make merchandise out of my abuse. Scared of who? You got your gun, then pull it. Me and my niggas started to argue. It's about who gon' bite the bullet. It gon' take round, take round, take round. Opponents better move slow. Attack dog for this truth. Nigga, cool zone. Go to grip, go to grip. square. Be wise with the weapons, cause I promise. My nine just like my wife. She concealed, she modest. I know Tuesdays. A robber will not prosper. Any man harm me and my aunt gon' meet the doctor. Cause this life is warfare, it's not an easy walk. Go ahead watching my people die so you can miss me with that love talk. My UPK soldiers, any man try to cross your path, make him regret what that means. Fall on his age. Comparing me to you really ain't no contest. I only want West. Say what? I only want West. This for those who thinking we ain't ready for. Tell them back up. I'm about to drop some heavy for. Go to grip, 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 go to grip. It's all about that warfare, boy. Get grip, get grip, back up, get grip, get grip, back up, get grip, get grip. It's all about that warfare, boy.
Shalom Israel, this is the Israelite School of UPK, start out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I'm the Commander General Yohana. I'm Natazab, Officer of 500. Today is Wednesday night biblical law class. And what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about, you know what I'm saying, quarantining. You know what I'm saying, how quarantining, the thing that America is trying to implement today in its society because of COVID-19, because all these different strands of COVID-19, like it's goddamn weed. You know what I'm saying? They've been trying to quarantine everybody. You understand? Well, in some cases, they've been trying to quarantine everybody. You know, the oppressor, he the devil that the Bible speaks of. He ain't going to quarantine you that long to where you ain't going to be able to make some money for him. You know what I'm saying? To keep his companies and Fortune 500 companies running and all that. You know what I'm saying? He going to make sure he send you back out there to get his money. You understand? But quarantine is a popular thing in the earth because of COVID-19, man. And what you don't know, you understand, because the Christian church don't know the Bible, your Christian pastor don't know the Bible, is that quarantine comes from the Bible. You understand? That's why it's so horrible for them to tell black people that the laws of God are done away with, because it's so many more laws than just loving your brother and thou shalt not kill or be a homosexual. It's 613 laws. You understand? That's why these Wednesday night law classes, or any class in ISUPK, we can just go. We can have endless classes because it's so many laws and statutes and commandments in this Bible that we can go over every day. You understand? And then what you don't understand is that these laws, statutes, and commandments, this is what separates us from other people. You understand? Like I titled the class, the laws of God are what make us a nation. You understand? And not only that, it separates us from other people. Like I said, every class, you understand, like the Chinese, like everybody say race don't matter. You understand? But by default, you say, when you go get some food, you say, oh, I'm going to get some Chinese food, or I'm going to this East Indian takeout food. You know what I'm saying? But race is supposed to not matter. But by default, you use those terms like Chinese food. Like it's called Chinese food because that's a part of their culture. That's a part of their heritage. You understand? That's a part of their history. And what I'm trying to say is that your culture and your heritage separates you from other people. You understand? But Black, Hispanic, Native American, we don't have a culture of our own. You understand? That's why half of us, you ask 7 Black people, what's their nationality? One gonna say he a Baptist, one gonna say he a Christian, the other one gonna say he Black, the other one gonna say he Muslim. I mean, you gonna get 7 different answers. You know why? Because we don't have an identity. You understand? We don't have our own God. You understand? Because we don't know that we are the people of the Bible. You understand? So what we're going to get into today is we're going to talk about quarantining. So we're going to talk about regulations. We're going to talk about inspectors, sanitation, waste management. You know what I'm saying? Quarantine. We're going to talk about all that because contrary to what you learn in the Christian church, all this comes from the Bible. You understand? All this comes from the Bible. But before I do that, I'm gonna get a Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Let me go to Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Let me see. Okay, this is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6. Let's see. Okay, now I'm gonna start at 4 and 5. This is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. It said, "Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord thy God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. You understand? So this is Moses talking to the children of Israel. He said, I have taught you statutes and judgments and commandments that the Lord thy God told me to tell y'all. I taught you statutes so I can read again. It said, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me. Man, Moses taught us statutes and judgments. Guess what he didn't teach us? He didn't teach us religion. You understand? He didn't teach us how to be Democratic and Republicans, and you understand, worship your goddamn zodiac sign, burn sage, and you know what I'm saying, think damn crystal ball gonna tell you your damn future. That's not what the Lord gave us. You understand? The Lord didn't give us weed to smoke and get high every goddamn day. You know what I'm saying? And say that we Egyptians. That's not what the Lord gave us. I'm gonna read it again. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments. The Lord taught us statutes and judgments. He didn't teach us religion. He didn't teach us how to be spiritual and all these different things that you hear today. You know what I'm saying? The Lord taught us statutes and judgments. You understand? And he said we're supposed to keep these statutes and these judgments wherever we go. You understand? And guess what? We don't keep these laws, statutes, and commandments wherever we go. You understand? And that's why we in the condition that we in. That's why the ghettos fall into decay. You understand? That's why your granddaughter murdering your grandbabies. That's why your son locked up for murder. That's why all these different things happening, because we don't keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. We'll go to verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sights of the nations. He said, keep therefore and do them wherever you go. Because why? Because this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sights of the nations. And the sights of what does nation mean? People, races of people. These laws, statutes, and commandments is your knowledge and wisdom and understanding in the sights of the other nations. Meaning that the other nations will look at black people and they'll see that we don't have homosexuals. We don't have nobody dying from drug overdoses. You understand? We don't have people dying from COVID-19. They'll see all that and they'll be like, you know what? This is a wise and understanding people. Well, right now, they're not looking at us as a wise and understanding people. You understand? You know, because we don't know that these laws belong to us. We think that the Bible is about singing and dancing, clapping and hugging and kissing and loving everybody. That's what we think. We don't understand that the Bible is not a comic book. It's not a novel that you just read. It's like the Lord said, he gave us laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? The Lord, throughout this whole Bible from Genesis to Revelations, the Lord is commanding his people to do something. You understand? He's ordering them to do something. He's giving them orders on how to live and how not to live. You know what I'm saying? But being that you go to the Christian church and fall back to sleep every Sunday, you don't know that. You understand? I'm gonna read it some more. Salakia. And it said, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sights of the nations. You understand? Other nations supposed to see that we got these laws, and they're supposed to be like, you know what, that those people are smart. You understand? Go ahead. Those people are smart. Like I said, they're not looking at us as a wise and understanding people right now. You understand? And we're not a wise and understanding people. That's why there's more black people dying from COVID-19 than anybody else. You understand? Because we think that COVID-19 is a conspiracy. We think COVID-19 is a goddamn joke. Meanwhile, nigga, you on fentanyl and you on goddamn Percocets and you on syrup because of a goddamn conspiracy. You understand? And it said, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. You see that? It said they shall hear all these statutes and these judgments that the Lord commanded us, and they shall say, what? Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. You understand? And why is it saying that? Because these laws, statutes, and commandments are what makes us a nation, or what make us a nation. You understand? Without these laws, statutes, and commandments, we are not a nation. You understand? And that's why nobody think that without these laws, statutes, and commandments, we forfeit our right to being God's people. And that's why every other nation know that they can run over us and there's no repercussions behind it. You understand? That's why America don't respect Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, because we don't have a culture behind us. If we had a culture, you understand, that we all was a part of, then they wouldn't be able to do what they do. You understand? But instead, we took on the culture of being Democratic and Republicans. We took on the culture of being Christians and Muslims. You understand? We took on their culture. And that's why they don't respect us. You know what I'm saying? That's why America been at war with the Arabs for 40 years, 20 years, 30 years. And guess what? The Arabs still, they are allowed to come over here and set up businesses and not get racially profiled by the police. They able to get, they able to go and start companies and businesses and open up banks and subways and do all these different things. And nobody's calling the police on them because they look suspicious in the goddamn parking lot. You understand? You know why? Because America respects the Arabs because they went to war with America. You know what I'm saying? America don't respect people that don't go to war with them, man. You understand? And I'm not saying to pick up a gun and go and fight somebody, but I'm just saying stop celebrating their culture. You understand? Stop being Christians and stop celebrating Halloween, Thanksgiving, all these holidays that they give you. Let them have their culture. You being God's chosen people, being the Israelite, you supposed to be separate. You ain't supposed to be taking on everybody else's culture. That's why we destroyed in the first place. You understand? It said, we shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Man, you see that? It says, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. These laws, statutes, and commandments are what make us a nation. Without these laws, statutes, and commandments, we just some people running around with their head cut off. You understand? We just a people with no identity. You know what I'm saying? So to them, you don't exist. You don't even exist, and that's why they treat you the way they treat you. You understand? So I'm gonna drop that, and we're gonna start just getting some of these laws. We're gonna go to Leviticus 14 and 33. And why I brought that out, because he said he gave us laws, statutes, and commandments, and we're supposed to keep them wherever we go. You understand? Like right now, you got a plague called COVID-19 that is a plague from God that's plaguing the whole goddamn earth right now. You understand? And you got black people who think it's a joke. They think it's some type of conspiracy theory or some type of a gimmick to depopulate the earth and kill black people. You know what I'm saying? No, they've been doing that. They don't need to come out with a vaccine and doing it. They doing it with drugs. They doing it with putting guns in your community so you can kill each other. They doing it with abortion. They don't need a shot to do it. You know what I'm saying? We doing it every goddamn day. Every day is 1,800 babies getting murdered. You know what I'm saying? Every year is 10,000 people that die from black on black crimes. You understand? It's more black people that die from heart attacks and stress than any place on earth in America. You understand? They don't need a vaccine to kill you. You're already dying, being in poverty. You understand? So, but I brought that up to show that the Lord gave us laws. You understand? And what I'm going to point out is that a lot of these different nations, they got the laws that they have that they set up and became started their government. They got it from Israelites. You understand? Like a lot of laws like that you see in America, don't kill, you know what I'm saying? Don't rob, don't steal. All those are laws that come from the Bible. The other nations, they never had these type of laws until Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, you know what I'm saying, start basically sinning against God and started to get scattered throughout the earth. And then we brought these laws with us. Like when we was in Egypt, Egyptians didn't have no law. They had laws against strange things. Like you can't have hair on your body. That's why when they got Joseph out of prison, you know what I'm saying, they made him shave all his hair off. Because it was a sin abomination for an Egyptian to have hair on his body anywhere. You understand? They got weird laws like that. We got laws that say you can't shave your beard. You understand? You ain't supposed to do that. But what I'm saying is that a lot of laws that these other nations have, they got from Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. You understand? They took on our culture, and then we took on their culture. So let's get Leviticus 14 and 33. We're gonna get a little bit into it. She sleep, Tasia? Tasia, she sleep? All right. Okay, Leviticus 14. Okay, Leviticus 14 and 34. Let me see where we're gonna start at. Bear with me, Leviticus 14, chapter 14 and 33. Okay, this is Leviticus chapter 14 and 33. And it said, and the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, when ye come into the land of Canaan, which I give unto you for your possession, and I put the plague of leprosy in a house. Okay, first off, what you gotta understand is that this is when Moses and the children of Israel was leaving Egypt. You understand? We just got out of captivity, had our Passover, got out of captivity, and we was now in the wilderness. You understand? Building up our nation. And in the wilderness, the Lord was giving us laws. But what did he say? He said, and the Lord spake to Moses and to Aaron, saying, when ye come into the land of Canaan, which I give to you for a possession. But you got to understand, a lot of people think that we just came and we just started taking the land of Canaan from the Africans. You know what I'm saying? And all the other heathens that was in the land of Canaan, that was in the Middle East. No, that has always been our land. You understand? The Middle East have always been our land. But what happened was a famine had entered into the land during the time of Israel and his 12 sons. So what happened was we ended up going to Egypt, and we stayed there for X amount of years, a couple hundred years, 1,000 years, whatever the case may be. And then while we was there, you understand, all these heathens moved into our land. You understand? It's the same thing when the Northern Kingdom went into slavery under the Babylonians. What they did was they removed the Northern Kingdom, and then they put Ethiopians in the Middle East. You understand? And that's why when Christ was on the scene in Matthew the 10th chapter, Christ said, enter ye not into any city of the Samaritan. Why did he say that? Because there were no Israelites living in Samaria at this time. You know what I'm saying? The Northern Kingdom was already over here in America. There was all heathens staying in Samaria, even though Samaria is our land. That's why Christ said, "No, go not into the city of the Samaritans, enter ye not." You understand? Because it was heathens standing in those lands. And the same thing happened at this time. But the land of Israel has always been Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. All right. So it said when ye become when ye become into the land of Canaan, which I give to you for a possession, and I put the plague of leprosy in a house of the land of your possession. And so this is talking about a house. Like the Lord is giving us laws on how to you know what I'm saying, examine a house. You understand? How is a house supposed to look? You understand? When you go into where you're going, you know what I'm saying? You don't just move into any spot. Don't just move into any goddamn house that got cheap rent. You understand? Make sure you look at have somebody look at the gas of the piping. You know what I'm saying? Make sure they look up under the sink and see if it's anything leaking. You understand? If it's any discoloration under the sink, is any mold under the sink? You understand? Make sure they see if the goddamn heater working, the air conditioner working, the stove work. You understand? Make sure they see if the floors ain't lifting up. You know what I'm saying? And you supposed to check. He said you supposed to examine your house before you move in it. This is the Lord giving us these laws in the wilderness. You know what I'm saying? It's the wilderness where we start to build our nation up. You understand? So I'm gonna keep reading. And it said, and I put the plague of leprosy in a house of the land of your possession. And another thing what you got to understand is that leprosy, when they say leprosy, is not talking about your skin turning white. Leprosy is basically like a plague. You understand? Leprosy is something that a disease. You understand? All right. So let me see. Verse 36. Then the priest shall command that empty. Hold on. So like 35. So like, yeah. Verse 35. And he that owneth the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, it seemeth to me there is at it were a plague in the house. Okay, so then after you see that it like you walk into your house, you know what I'm saying, and some might smell funny. You understand? You might, as soon as you walk in the house, you might get dizzy. You might start coughing. You understand? It's a funny odor in the air. You understand? You see some discoloration on the walls or whatever. You supposed to tell the priest. You supposed to go to the priest and tell him, like, man, there's something wrong with this house. Every time I walk in this house, man, my stomach start hurting, man. You know what I'm saying? It just smells funny. I get lightheaded. You understand? The Lord is teaching you how to examine your house. You ain't supposed to just move into anywhere. You understand? Is it Salakia. All right. It said, and he that owneth the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, it seemeth to me there is as it were a plague in the house. You understand? Like I said, he supposed to go to the priest, that person who owned that house. He supposed to go tell the priest, Like, man, something wrong with this house. You understand? They smell funny. Man, it's discoloration on the wall. I don't think this is Tawab. You understand? In modern terms, the job of the priest will be what? Do anybody know? If he's coming to tell the priest something wrong with this house, what would that be? You know what I'm saying? When you have your house examined, what are those people called that come in and examine houses? You understand? Or examine buildings or anything. Examine apartments. They're called inspectors. You understand? That's yes, used to wild. And they call it inspectors. You understand that this is one of the job of the priests thousands of years ago. You understand? This is inspectors in the Bible. You understand? This is not a book about laughing, singing, and dancing and hugging and kissing and seeing who can cry the best and fall out on the floor and have convulsions. And whoever cried the best, that's who the God is listening to. No, this is not that. That's Christianity. You understand? We got laws on how to examine and inspect the house before you move into that house. You understand? Or if you see something wrong with it, have an inspector come, which will be a priest back then. He will come and inspect the house, and he'll look. Like nowadays, he'll come and, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He'll come and see if the house meet the codes that it's under. You know what I'm saying? He'll come check the gas, the piping. You understand? He'll come see if it's residential, if it's commercial. You know what I'm saying? What type of retail is this? You know what I'm saying? That was the job of a priest back then. You understand? Is the floor coming up? Is the water leaking up under the hardwood floor? You understand? Is it leaks up under the sink? You understand? Because if you don't fix it, if you don't examine it and fix it from the gate, then it festers. And then next thing you know, you got rats and roaches. You understand? That's what happens to the Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian community, because we don't have the people that's over Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. They're not telling us to examine our house. They're not coming to the ghetto. Like Reverend Al Sharpton, he's not coming to the ghetto and seeing how Black people live. And he's supposed to be a reverend. He's supposed to be a man of God. He's supposed to be looking at these laws, and he's supposed to be coming down into the ghetto and seeing it. Man, look, oh, you ain't supposed to live in this house. There's mold everywhere. You understand? You gonna your children, some of your children, you probably gonna develop some type of lung disease. You understand? Probably catch asthma or something. They're not coming down from their high seats and coming to examine and then looking into the condition of Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. You understand? But this will be the job of a priest or a man of the Lord. You understand? And it said, verse 36, then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priest go into it to see the plague, that all that is in the house be not made unclean. And afterward, the priest shall go in to see the house. You understand? And when a priest come, he's supposed to go inside that. I'm gonna read it again. Salakia. It say, then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priest go into it to see the plague. Okay, so before the priest come in, he gotta make sure everybody's out of the house. So he gotta make sure everybody out the house, and so he can come in and examine and see what's wrong with it. And it's like that all that is in the house be not made unclean. And afterward, the priest shall go into see the house. You understand? And then the priest supposed to go into the house, inspect the house. Like I said, he supposed to see if the roof leaking. You understand? He supposed to see if all the lights work. You know what I'm saying? He supposed to see if the carbon monoxide, you got the little it's not a smoke detector, but it's like a little detector, and it tell you when something is leaking, because I believe you can't smell carbon monoxide. You understand? But if you don't smell that, you will end up dying in the house. You understand? Or if you sitting or if you know what I'm saying, sitting, it's just like sitting in a goddamn car in the garage with your car running. You understand? You might not smell it, but all of a sudden you're gonna fall. Them fumes gonna get so much into your body, you're gonna fall asleep and you're gonna wake up a baby. You understand? Because you didn't die and reincarnated. You understand? That's why it's so important to have somebody come and inspect your house, especially when you're buying a house. You understand? Even when you rent. You understand? Because you got a lot of heathens that come from these third world countries, like these East Indians and these stinking dirty Africans. They come from these small countries where they're not big on sanitation. They're not big on waste management. You understand? They're not big on being clean. You understand? They're not big on these type of things. You know why? Because that's not a part of their culture. That's a part of Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians culture. This has always been our culture, man. You understand? That's why the people who started dreadlocks, which is the East Indians, for example, you know what I'm saying? They think it's what do they think? They think it's basically, for the lack of a better word, they think it's a sin to clean yourself and take a bath. You understand? They think that is like it's the word is right on my tongue. I can't get it. You know what I'm saying? But basically, they won't even take a bath. Half the people over there, they don't. That's why when you walk into their stores in America, it stinks over goddamn bad. They stink. You know what I'm saying? You pushing your cart and they walking in front of you with their kids in the store, and you smell the whole family. They stink like hell. You understand? You know why? Because it's almost like a sin to take a bath out there. You know what I'm saying? That's their culture. That's why the like Black people trying to get dreadlocks. That's not your culture. You know what I'm saying? We got laws on combing your beard, washing yourself up, staying clean, wash your hands. You know what I'm saying? After you touch something unclean, wash your body after you have sex with your woman. You understand? We got laws on washing with soap and water. These heathens don't have that. And that's why the East Indians, that's why they worship a god called Shiva. They grow long dreads all the way down their back. They take a bath in the dirty goddamn river water. They don't even take a bath. So like they get wet in the river water. You know what I'm saying? Where it's people defecating and throwing up and letting their animals defecate in the water. They jump in that water, wring their hair out, then put their clothes back on, and then go worship their God. You know, that's what they do. But in the Bible, we got laws against that type of behavior. You understand? That is, you gotta, and this is the job of the priest to make sure that everybody's keeping these laws. You understand? So you won't move into no house that got rats and roaches that's infested. You won't move into no house and move your family, your babies in the goddamn house when the roof about to damn near cave in on your family as soon as a storm hit. You understand? You won't move into a goddamn house. You know what I'm saying? You wake up in the middle of the night and a damn rat then came out the damn stove and snatched your damn sandwich. You understand? Mr. Lark, I'm gonna keep reading. And it said, he shall look on the plague, and behold, if the plague be in the walls of the house with hollow strakes, greenish or reddish, which in sight are lower than the wall. You know what I'm saying? So then when he enter into the house and he see this plague, you know what I'm saying, the plague be in the walls of the house with hollow strakes, greenish or reddish. What is this greenish or reddish talking about? Do anybody know what this greenish or reddish is talking about? Anybody in watching it? And also make sure you put your name, city, and state so we can mark you down for attendance, man. It's very important we mark you down for attendance, man, so you can come here and start actually serving the Lord. You understand? It's not by coincidence you caught these classes. But what is it? What is the greenish? I'm gonna read it again. It said, and he shall look on the plague, and behold, if the plague be in the walls of the house with hollow strakes, greenish or reddish, which is in sight are lower than the wall. What is that greenish and reddish that he's talking about? What is that greenish or reddish that he's talking about? He said he shall look on the plague. And then this is another thing too I gotta point out to you. If you ain't ever already answered the question, I'm gonna look at the chat in a second. When they say plague, it's not that there's different definitions for, like, you gotta understand, Black people wrote the Bible. You understand? We don't have a multitude of different words. You know what I'm saying? We got a multitude of words for one word. You understand? Black people wrote the Bible. So when they say plague, it's not talking about like what's going on with COVID-19 right now. That's a plague from God. You understand? And when they say plague, you gotta understand, like, we are spiritual people, man. You understand? We talk and we communicate spiritually. You understand? It's called, another word is it's called slang. You understand? We spiritual people. The way we communicate is spiritual, man, and it's called slang. Like, for example, let me give you an example. I might see a brother and I might be like, "Hey, what's up?" You know what I'm saying? Or I might be like, "Hey, what's up?" You know what I'm saying? But we, Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, being spiritual, we know that those are two different what's ups. One is asking, how are you doing? How can I help you? The other one is asking, do we have a problem? Do you know me from somewhere? You understand? We spiritual people. That's how we talk. So there's different is more than one definition for one word. You understand? But do anybody know what that greenish and reddish is talking about? So basically, when we're reading, you got to understand the context because the context is specified what type of plague it's talking about. You understand? Okay, but just for time's sake, that greenish or reddish is talking about mold. That's what it's talking about. That greenish and that reddish is talking about mold. You understand? The priest gonna enter into your house. You understand? And he gonna let me see. I'm gonna read it one more time. And he shall look on the plague, and behold, if the plague be in the walls of the house with hollow strakes, greenish or reddish, which is sight are lower than the walls. You know what I'm saying? So if the priest enter into this house, you know what I'm saying, inspecting this house and examining this house, and when he enter into it, and see back then we didn't have words for mold. We didn't have words for mold. It was greenish. It was a greenish reddish plague. That's what mold is according to the Bible. It's a greenish and reddish plague. And he said when he entered into this house and you see it smell weird, you understand, and you get lightweight dizzy, your stomach start hurting, you start coughing too much, or you see spots on the wall, you see at the low bottom in the corners of the damn door and where the carpet meets the wall, you see right there is blackish and greenish and reddish, and it's just different colors in the wall. You know that it's a plague in this house. You know what I'm saying? It's mold in here. People should not live in here. You understand? And it said, and come again, it's like it. Then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house and shut up the house 7 days. So look at after the priest go in his house and he see that it got a plague in it, it got mold in here. You understand? The piping is messed up. You understand? The sink is leaking. There's rats and roaches in here. You know what I'm saying? He supposed to, after he go into the house and he examine it and he see it, he supposed to come out of the house and he supposed to shut the door behind him and make sure nobody else is coming in there. What is that called? What is that called today? Do anybody know what that's called? Do anybody know what that's called? He went inside the house, and after he seen the house was unsanitary, it was unclean. He said, "You know what? Nobody should come in this house." And he shut the door behind him. He said, "Nobody is able to. I mean, nobody should come in this house for 7 days." What is that talking about? What's another word for that? Another word for that is what? Look, what's going on with America right now? Everybody is what? On quarantine. That's what that's called. I'm gonna read it again. And it said, "Then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house and shut up the house 7 days." This is talking about a quarantine. You understand? This is quarantine in the Bible. You understand? Quarantine comes from black people, man. It comes from Hispanic people. And this is us not even in our kingdom yet. This is us in the wilderness. The Lord was giving us these laws in the wilderness, man. We was building our nation up in the wilderness. You understand? Before we even like a lot of people think we were just living in tents and you know what I'm saying and teepees and no, we was living in houses. You know what I'm saying? We had cities with houses, and the Lord said, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and the Lord gave us these laws saying that wherever you move into, make sure it don't have plagues in it. Make sure everything is to wild, so you won't move some family in there that's desperate, and then they get sick as hell and catch some lung disease or cancer or something because this house needed to be quarantined. You understand? So we're gonna keep on reading. You understand? But that's quarantine in the Bible. Quarantine come from black people, man. You understand? Like what the scripture say? The scripture say we are the salt of the earth. What do that mean? What is salt made for? Salt gives everything flavor. That's what salt for. That's why Christ said you the salt of the earth. We give everything flavor. You understand? We got the sauce, we got the juice, whatever you want to call it. You understand? We got swag. We got a black, Hispanic, Native American. We got a certain swagger about us that makes people want to copy us. Like black people could be sagging in LA. Something so simple and disgusting as sagging. You can be sagging in LA and you can go on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, and you can see Chinese people all the way in China rapping, sagging their pants, wearing lokes, trying to crip walk. You understand? You know why? Because black people are the salt of the earth, and that's just something simple. You understand? Not only we the salt of the earth in stupidity, but we the salt of the earth when it comes to things like being clean, being regulators. You understand? Being inspectors. You understand? A quarantine. All that comes from black people, man. You understand? But you know why you don't know it? Because you forfeited your right of being God's people to be Christian, to be Muslim, to be democratic, to be a lesbian, a homosexual. You forfeited that to take on the cultures of other nations of people. That has never been our culture. This has those things. Everything that we practice today has always been other nations' culture. Whether it's smoking weed, wearing dreadlocks, going to stand in a line and vote, doing the Alpha A Kappa in college. You understand? Being a lesbian, a homosexual. You understand? Eating pork. All that has always been other nations' culture. That's not our culture. You understand? That's why we try to emulate them and do the same thing they do, and we die. You understand? And we die. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord ain't with that. But that's quarantine in the Bible, man. And these other nations pick that up, you know what I'm saying, by trying to copy us. That's why the scriptures say you the salt of the earth. These other nations copied us leaving Egypt. You understand? That's what they did. And it said, and the priest shall come again. It's like, and the priest shall come again the seventh day and shall look and behold, if the plague be spread in the walls of the house. So then after that 7 days, you know what I'm saying, when that priest come, if the plagues be spread more into the wall of the house, this is what's going to happen. And the priest shall come again the seventh day and shall look and behold, if the plague be spread in the wall of the house, then the priest shall command that they take away the stones in which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city. You see that? What is that talking about? What's another word for that, man? What's another word for that? I'm gonna read that again. It said, because this is everything that I'm bringing out and talking about right now. This is something that you never learned in the Christian church, because they've been too busy telling you that the Nephilims is giants in the Bible. A third of the angels fell from heaven and fell to the earth and had sex with men and women. You understand? Christ died from an actual virgin. You understand? They too busy telling you that the angels are little naked angel babies that's flying in the air shooting arrows. You understand? They too busy lying to you, telling you that when you die, you're gonna go to heaven. When you die, you're gonna go to hell. When meanwhile, according to the Bible, those are conditions. You understand? But they teach you all this mythology and all this special spooky stuff, but they're not teaching you the laws of the Bible. They're not teaching you that these laws are in the Bible. You understand? And in fact, they teach you that the laws of God are done away with. They teach you that the laws of God are done away with. So what is that implying? That's implying that it's okay to live with mold and rats and roaches in your house. There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to have your children subject to that type of environment because the laws of God are done away with. Child molestation is okay because the laws of God are done away with. That's what the Christian church is actually teaching. And that's why you got children being molested out here. You understand? And then they grow up and they become rappers and singers and artists and all these different things. And then they end up taking drugs and end up dead in the goddamn bathtub like Whitney Houston. You know what I'm saying? Like Juice WRLD. You understand? But Salakia. Then the priest shall command that they take away the stones in which the plague is. So they said, after 7 days, the priest supposed to come back to this house, and they supposed to see, and if they see that the plague has spread even further throughout the house after they came back after 7 days, then they supposed to take the stones that got the leprosy, I mean that got the plague on it. They supposed to take those stones, and what the Lord say to do? Take away the stones in which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city. And he said, you're supposed to take these unclean stones that got mold on it. You know, so you're supposed to take these unclean stones and you're supposed to cast them out outside of the city, not where you stay at. You understand? You're supposed to take these stones that got mold and that got fungus on it. You understand? They got bacteria on it. You're supposed to take these stones. You understand? You're supposed to cast it outside of the city where nobody lives, so nobody else won't get sick. You understand? This is how you stop infectious diseases right here. This is quarantine in the Bible. This is how you stop it. You understand? This is how you stop it. This is how you stop diseases and stuff from spreading. That's where quarantine comes from the Bible. Why did you never learn this in the church? Why you ain't never learned this? You understand? Because the Christian church is the house of Satan. That's why. You understand? Your oppressor is the devil. Your oppressor and your pastor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Absolutely. You understand? What does devil mean? Devil means deceiver. That's all it means. They've lied to Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. You understand? But this is a city dump. They talking about taking this to the city dump, basically. I'm gonna read it again. And it said, and take away the stones in which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city. You know what I'm saying? Meaning you're supposed to take these unclean stones and you're supposed to set them outside of the city where everybody else live. So whatever's on whatever fungus or mold or bacteria is on these stones, everybody else won't catch it, and it won't spread all throughout their house. You understand? This is quarantine and sanitation in the Bible. You understand? This is quarantine and sanitation in the Bible. And when you set some outside of the city, what is this? Are you familiar with this? What is this talking about? That's talking about the city dump. That's what the city dump do. The city dump, you understand? In some places they just burn all their trash, but in some places the garbage man come throughout the whole city every Tuesday, or every Friday, every Thursday, early in the morning, and he come pick up everybody waste. You understand? He come pick up everybody trash, and then he take that trash outside of your apartments, out from your block, from your neighborhood, and he put it in a part of the city where nobody is living at, and then they recycle it. You understand? That's waste management in the Bible. That's what it's talking about. You understand? So, like, yeah, you keep going with the scripture. Verse 41. And he shall cause the house to be scraped within round about, and they shall pour out the dust that they scrape off without the city into an unclean place. You know what I'm saying? And then what you supposed to scrape that mold and that bacteria and that dust and that you know what I'm saying, that fungus off. You supposed to take that. This is like this basically putting new tile down. This putting new carpet down. You know what I'm saying? Putting down new floors. You understand? This is construction work. This is putting down new floors and everything. That's what you're supposed to do. And all that old material that was in this house that the landlord didn't give a damn about, especially if you live in the ghetto. You understand? Especially if you live somewhere that when your rent is only $1,000 to $1,500 a month, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? The landlord didn't care about making sure the heat worked. You understand? He didn't care about making sure that the sinks worked. You know what I'm saying? He didn't care about the leak that was going on. He didn't care about none of that. The piping, you know what I'm saying? He didn't care about none of that. The priest is here, so that won't happen to you. And nobody else will live in this house. They gotta repair this house. After they examine this house and they see that the plague is spreading, they're supposed to repair this house. And they're supposed to take all this infectious stuff that might get people sick. You understand? When you go to the supermarket and all that, they need to take this stuff and they need to take it to the dump. That's what the Bible is saying. You understand? Because there's a lot of places where Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians live at today that it needs to be tore down. It absolutely needs to be tore down. But guess what? You don't have the leadership that's coming down here and looking at the condition that we stand in and saying this. They're not pulling the scripture saying that This house, these apartments need to be tore down. This house needs to be tore down because of this reason. You understand? They're not doing that. But then they want you to pay rent every goddamn month, every month faithfully on the dot, or you're gonna get an eviction notice, and they won't even come fix your goddamn toilet. You understand? It don't make no sense, man. But Salaki, I'm gonna keep reading. That's waste management in the Bible. You understand? And moreover, he that Salakia, damn, what the hell? Okay, verse 44. Then the priest shall come and look and behold. Oh, Salakia. Oh, that was something else. Okay, so like I was reading this text message. It said, then the priest shall come and look and behold, if the plague be spread in the house, it is a fretting leprosy in the house. It is unclean. You understand? So if the leprosy began, and hold on, matter of fact, I'm tripping. I was at 43. And it said, and if the plague come again, dang, hold on. I skipped way down. Salakia. Okay, we back at 41. Salakia. I jumped the gun. And it said, he shall cause the house to be scraped round about, and they shall pour out the dust that they scrape off without the city into an unclean place. Meaning, right, they supposed to take that new plywood, they supposed to take that old carpet and that old wood and everything in that house that was messed up. They supposed to take that and they supposed to put it in a part of the city where nobody lives, so nobody won't get sick. Nobody won't catch no infectious disease. You understand? This is quarantine in the Bible. Once again, verse 42. And they shall take other stones and put them in the place of those stones, and he shall take other mortar and shall plaster the house. What is this talking about, man? He said, now you're going to take new stones. You're going to put down new wood. You understand? You're going to build that floor, build them walls. Or what is that talking about? You know what I'm saying? It said verse 43. And if the plague come again and break out in the house after that, he have taken away the stones, and after he that scraped the house, and after it is plastered, then the priest shall come and look and behold, if the plague be spread in the house, it is a fretting leprosy in the house. It is unclean. So after you take all those old plywood and wood and flooring and walls and stones and brick, after you take all that old stuff out and you put new brick in, you know what I'm saying? You put new walls up, new flooring down. You know what I'm saying? After that, if that plague or that mold is still spreading throughout the house, it's still starting to pop up in places, that means it's a fretting leprosy. Meaning that it's something wrong in here. And the term leprosy is a term talking about a contagious sickness. It's not talking about your skin turning white like Moses' sister. It's talking about a contagious sickness, man. You understand? It's just continual, keep going, even after you put new stuff in here. You know what I'm saying? You have to get out of that house. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going. All right. And it said, verse 45, and he shall break down the house, the stones of it, and the timber thereof, and the mortar of the house, and he shall carry them forth out of the city into an unclean place. And right, he supposed to tear this house down. What is this talking about right here? You understand? What is this talking about? This is talking about construction. You know what I'm saying? So we already went over sanitation, quarantine, and being an inspection. Now we're going over demolition and construction. All of this is in the Bible. And then for the y'all who don't know, you understand, like I said, everybody think we were just living in tents. No, we wasn't just living in tents. That's why I said wood and stone. We wasn't just living in a teepee. You understand? We was actually staying in houses. You understand? Of wood and stone. That's why I'm saying take the stone, take the plywood, and throw it away. You understand? We had cities of wood and stone. You understand? And it said, and he shall break down the house, the stones of it, and the timber thereof, and all the mortar of the house, and he shall carry them forth out of the city into an unclean place. And you posted, this is demolition. This is destroying this house. You ever seen one of those big uh construction worker trucks where they got the it's like a long crane and they got the big ball, the big metal ball hanging from it, and it swing left and right, and it knocked the buildings down, the tall skyscrapers and stuff. That's what this talking about. This is demolition. You supposed to knock this down, and you supposed to take all the rest of it, and you supposed to throw it away. You understand? Throw it away outside of the city where nobody is living. And why is that? So nobody else can move here. You understand? If somebody kids catch cancer, or some type of lung disease or asthma, you understand, because of these living conditions. Nobody is, especially if you Black, Hispanic, Native American Indian, you're not supposed to be living in those conditions. You understand? But the problem is, you know what I'm saying, we mind high things. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull that scripture right quick. Mind not high things. I think it's in Romans 12. Romans 12 and 5. It's like it. We'll pull it right quick. That's the problem is we worried about the wrong things. We worried about voting and Kamala Harris and Obama. You understand? Let me see. Mine now. Let me see. Yep, Romans 12 and 16. Yep. It said this is Romans 12 and 16. It say, be of the same mind one toward another. Mind not high things. Right, man. Like Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians, the Lord say, mind not high things. Like, don't worry about who running for mayor, and don't worry about we got Black people sitting in Congress for us, or we got Black city councilmen and city councilmen and women. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about who's becoming the next vice president and the president. Don't worry about that. Mind not high things. Why? Because it don't matter who become the new councilman or councilwoman or the president or the vice president. They're gonna make sure you still stay in the same condition that you stay in. You understand? They're gonna make sure your community stay in the condition that it is. And guess what? The only time they're gonna change your community and change your condition is when they gentrify it. They're gonna come to the poorest part of the goddamn city and gentrify the poorest people community and make them move out and head to a different city, head to a different part of town. You understand? That's what your oppressor do, because he's the devil that the Bible speaks of. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Bible say, mind not high things. Don't worry about, you understand, who becoming the next big senator and all these different things. Don't mind those things. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? They all gonna make sure that they keep their foot on your neck. You understand? They all gonna make sure you stay living in the living conditions that you in. You understand? Because your oppressor does not give a damn about you. You understand? Your Christian pastor does not give a damn about you. That's why in the last 10 years, your Christian pastor has got $800 billion. Yeah, not millions, billions with a B. They got 800, almost $1 trillion in the last 10 years from the Black, not even from the Hispanics and the Native American Indians, but from the Black community. Not even from our brothers. It's from the Black community. You understand? And look at the ghetto. Look at the goddamn ghetto. Look at Chicago. Now I said a few classes ago, look at Chicago. Chicago got two billionaires, two Black billionaires that's from Chicago. You got Oprah, she's from Chicago. You got Kanye West, he's from Chicago. But look at Chicago, billionaires. And meanwhile, it's a Christian church on every goddamn corner in Chicago. You understand? Christian pastors then got $800 billion in the last 10 years. And look at the Black community, man. That's why you're not supposed to mind high things. But then every Christian pastor teaching in unison that God loves everybody. Well, I can't tell, because you live in a goddamn mansion. You ain't got no plagues and leprosy in your house. You understand? I can't tell. Goddamn devils. Salakia. We'll go back to the scripture. I just had to pull that. Okay, we have verse 44. Then the priest shall come and look, and behold, if the plague be, okay, I read that, verse 45. And he shall break down the house. Okay, we have 46, Salakia. Moreover, he that goeth into the house all the while that it is shut up shall be unclean until the even. Right? You know what I'm saying? Why is he saying that the person that go into this house, you understand, the house that they quarantine, you understand? Why is he saying that this person that go into this house, why is it saying he should be unclean until evening? Why? Because we don't need you spreading whatever's in that house. You know what I'm saying? You go inside the house and it's mold everywhere. You know what I'm saying? There's rats running around, stuff leaking, the ceiling leaking. You understand? They got a funny smell to it. You get dizzy. You need to quarantine yourself until evening. You understand? We need to make sure that you come out all right. You know what I'm saying? In a few hours or something, or the next day, because man, that house is disgusting. That's a filthy house. I know some houses I didn't grow up in. Went to my friend's house and it was like, man, I don't even want to sit on the couch in here. This is disgusting. I don't even want to sit on the couch. They offering food. I'm like, I'm too wild. You know what I'm saying? I'm too wild. Those houses should not be in you're not supposed to live in that type of condition, man. You understand? And he that lieth in the house shall wash his clothes, and he that eateth in the house shall wash his clothes. And right, you unclean until evening. If somebody that go to sleep in the house, laying down in the house, you understand? They need to wash their clothes. You understand? And he that eateth in the house shall wash his clothes. Even a person that just come in and eat something, he supposed to wash his clothes. Why? Because we don't need you going to the goddamn supermarket and grocery store touching stuff after you done got out of this nasty house and you spread it. Now somebody go home and they got some infectious disease. You understand? Because you don't know how to, you don't know about the laws and rules about sanitation of how to get rid of and stop bacteria. You understand? You don't know. All right. And if the priest shall come in and look upon it, and behold, the plague have not spread in the house after the house was plastered, then the priest shall pronounce the house clean, because the plague is healed. You know what I'm saying? But if you come into the house after you rebuild this house and you see ain't nothing in here, you understand? Then this house is clean. You understand the house now, or if you fix the wood and you fix the stones and you change the floors and the walls and the pipe and everything, and then after 7 days, if it's still tawab, then yeah, Most High in Christ, they said this house is good to go. You understand? But if it's not clean after 7 days, then this house needs to get demolished. A demolition needs to happen, and it needs to be reconstructed. You understand? And it needs to be condemned until then. You understand? That's what we were just reading about. We were just reading about a house being condemned, and whoever go in that house, they unclean. You know what I'm saying? They need to separate themselves from the congregation until further notice, until evening time. You understand? Because this house is a house that need to be condemned. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? All these heathens, they picked up on this culture from us. Like America got sanitation laws and quarantine laws. They got waste management. You understand? They got inspectors. They got you know what I'm saying? They got all these different things. They got it from black people. They got it from black people. We read it in the Bible. We just went over sanitation. We went over quarantine. We went over construction. We went over examining and inspection. We went over demolition. All that is in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? It's black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians culture. You understand? This is our culture. This is our heritage. This is our way of life. But guess what? You forfeit that by being Christian. You forfeit that by being Muslim and smoking weed and selling drugs and being a whore. You forfeit that by doing that. You understand? That's why it's so important for you to come into the laws of God. All right. We're going to get some more on it. Where we at? We have 48. Salakia. Let me see if I got any questions in the chat. Okay, no questions. Okay, we 2 hours. All right. Verse 48. And if the priest shall come in and look upon it, And behold, the plague have not spread in the house. After the house was plastered, did the priest shall pronounce the house clean because the plague is healed. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine how many, like, just imagine how many buildings that got shut down because they didn't pass the inspection. You understand? Because they had mold and rats and roaches running around, and they had all these different things going on. Imagine all the buildings and hotels and, you understand, schools and houses and apartments that then got condemned and tore down because the culture of this Bible, because the culture of the people of this Bible. Just imagine that. You understand? And guess what? You get no credit for it. You get no credit for it, man, because you didn't took on you didn't hoard yourself out trying to take on the culture of everybody else. You understand? Okay, so like yeah, we'll get some more of it. All right, bear with me, bear with me. All right. And if you watch it, make sure you put your name, city, and state. Very important. Okay, we're gonna continue. Verse 49. And he shall take to cleanse the house 2 birds and cedar wood and scarlet and hyssop. What is this talking about? He said, then he shall take to cleanse the house 2 birds. And I told you we had houses, we wasn't just living in tents. 2 birds and cedar wood and scarlet and hyssop. Let's look up the word hyssop. What is hyssop? Do anybody know? Somebody take a guess. Hyssop. So it said you're gonna take a bird. It said, and he shall take to cleanse the house 2 birds. So he said, so now you're supposed to take and clean the house with 2 birds and cedar wood and scarlet and hyssop. You understand? So let's see what this hyssop is. All right, before the definition, hyssop, evergreen garden herb of the mint family, grown for its romantic leaves and flowers. The plant has a sweet scent and a warm, bitter taste, and has long been used as a flavoring for foods and beverages as a folk medicine. Hyssop is native to the area ranging from South Europe to Central Asia and has been neutralized in Africa. Hold on. But they're not telling you the truth, though. Google a goddamn lie. It's supposed to say they started with the Bible. You understand? They started with the Hebrews. I'm going to pull it. Hold on. Hyssop is a plant that's been used medicinally for centuries, possibly even as far back as biblical times. It's mentioned in Old Testament. The above ground parts of the plant are what are used for medicine, not for the roots. Traditionally, it's been used for a wide variety of ailments, but so far we have enough evidence to prove that it's safe and effective for any of them. Traditional uses for hyssop include treatment, digestive aid, liver problems, gallbladder disease, gas, intestinal pain, colic, coughs, colds, sore throat, asthma, urinary tract infections, poor circulation, menstrual cramps, to cause sweating and baths, typically for burn, bruises, or frostbites. You understand? And then it's just going and give you the use of it. But this was first used by the Hebrews. You understand? How did it become a European thing? It became a European thing because we forfeited our culture and another nation took our culture. You understand? And they made it theirs. Now if you even Google line, now when you Google talking about it's in Europe. No. That plant comes from the Middle East. And we was using that as for a variety of different things. But in this case that we're reading about being unclean and clean, we was using it for like a soap. He was making a concoction to clean the house. That's what he said. Let's get back to it. And they said, and he shall uh, and he shall take to cleanse the house 2 birds and cedar wood and scarlet and hyssop, and he shall kill the one of the birds in an earthen vessel over running water. You know what I'm saying? So he shall kill one of the birds, right? And he shall take the cedar wood and the hyssop and the scarlet and the living bird and dip them in the blood of the slain bird and in the running water and sprinkle the house 7 times, meaning wash the house 7 times. And he shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird and with the running water and with the living bird and with the cedar wood and with the hyssop and with the scarlet. You understand? And why is he using birds? Do anybody know? Why is he using birds to clean his house? Because the birds have what? Feathers. Birds have feathers. Like you can scrub. You know what I'm saying? That's why he's using a bird. Verse 53. But he shall let go the living bird out of the city into an open field and make an atonement for the house, and it shall be clean. You know what I'm saying? So after he cleaned the house 7 times, he's supposed to let the clean bird go, and you know what I'm saying, let him do his thing. But he shall let go the living bird out of the city into the open. Okay, I read that, tripping. Verse 54. This is the law for all manner of plague and leprosy and scald. So this is what you're supposed to do for all manner of mold. You know what I'm saying? For all manner of fungus or bacteria. You understand? And this is how you conduct yourself when it's in your house, when it's on your clothes. You understand? This is how you're supposed to go about handling that situation. You understand? You're supposed to see back then all we had was priests to do this job. Now you got inspectors that come examine the house and make sure you can pass the test. You understand? But back then all we had was priests. And for the leprosy of a garment and of a house, and for a rising, and for a scab, and for a bright spot, to teach when it is clean and when it's unclean. That is the law of leprosy. You understand? That is the law of leprosy, man. And what y'all gotta understand is that all these different things that these cultures now practicing in 2021, it came from black people. It came from Hispanic people. Like right now we quarantining. Like go look up how Europe was prior to oppressor ruling. It was everything was wild. But guess what? When your oppressor got into rulership, what did they do? They came to America, they conquered the whole earth. They came to America and they wiped out more than a third of the goddamn Native American Indians with smallpox. You know why? Because they didn't practice quarantining. They didn't practice sanitation. You understand? They didn't practice none of these different things. That's why they had rats and roaches running around all in Europe. You know what I'm saying? Pigs loose on the street, killers, murders, robbers, whores, diseases, pestilence. They had all these different things because this is not their culture. And it was like that wherever Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians wasn't, that's how it was. It was complete hell. You know what I'm saying? And then we brought our culture with us. You know what I'm saying? We brought our you know what I'm saying, our religious, I'm using that feliciously. You know what I'm saying? We brought our religion with us, our ethnic with us, our cultural, our race with us, everywhere we went. That's what separated us from the Africans when we was in Africa. What separated us from the Africans is that we knew that we had laws, statutes, and commandments that prohibited us from doing the things that they did. You know what I'm saying? That's how your person knew who to come get and not to come get. You understand? Because we always had these laws. But only when we left these laws, that's when we failed. That's when we failed. We wanted to be like everybody else. Okay. So man, we're gonna get this last scripture right quick. So like it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you violate your culture, your race, your nation, You understand? Your ethnic, you violate that and you forfeit that when you take on religion, man. You understand? Oh, so we're gonna go to Jeremiah 10 and 16. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's created on this planet, it comes from Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, man. Everything from the sanitation laws to waste management, to getting rid of bacteria and mold, quarantine, sanitation, construction, demolition. You understand? Clean and unclean. It all comes from Black, Hispanic, Native American Indians culture. That's where it comes from. It doesn't come from everybody else. You understand? Though no other nation got got dietary laws how we got dietary laws that separate the clean from the unclean. You understand? And there's only one that try to mimic us. And guess who that is? That's the Arabs. You know why? Because they was directly with us, trying to copy us. That they Islam is supposed to be a copyright of. I mean, I'm saying them trying to copy the Bible. That's what, but they don't know how to really copy the Bible. They don't really live by it. That's why they don't eat pork, but they will eat shrimp, crab, and lobster. They will eat camel. You understand? But our law, we got unclean laws against that, saying that those animals are unclean. You understand? Our law, your laws, these laws, statutes, and commandments are what is what makes us a nation, and this is what separates us from everybody else on this planet. You know, so we got to come back to keeping God's laws. That being said, I'm in the class. Make sure you like and share. Yahweh Shemel Shabbat all the brothers. Yahweh Shema Shabbat Shemel Shabbat Shalom.